तत्ता
यो अनुतिष्ठति धर्मवित्
गदोति निगमन
यो अनुतिष्ठ
सपुण्य बंध पुरुषो
प्रभु
मरुद्भिः सह मोदते Please.
Translation proposed by Sri Prabhupada. Sri Prabhupada translation. O son of Dakshina, we hear by use of scriptures attentively. They are all very attentive to your elder brother. Now, Harivash. Therefore, you should follow this path. But Narad Muni and Sage Prajapati the second group of them by awakening their nature as dignity for their brother. He urged them to follow their older brother if they were all passionate towards him. A family affection is very strong, and therefore Narad Muni followed this tactic of reminding them their family relationship with the Haryar. Generally, the word Nigama refers to Vedas. But here, Nigam refers in the section contained in the Vedas. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Nigama Kalpa Karol.
So you reading verse 1, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
After 30.
31. 30 we finished 30.
Oh, did we finish 30?
Yes.
Okay. I got
It's okay, you can
31.
read again. Prabhuji is also joined, so we can actually do 30.
Okay.
Hare Krishna
Okay.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The wedding instructions are like a tree of which.
Please continue with 30 as well, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Please continue with 30, Prabhu. Yeah, please do.
Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened food. Narad Muni is engaged in the distributing food, and therefore instructed Vedas to write this Mahaprana, Srimad Bhagavatam, for the benefits of the ignorant human society. Anar apastama saksat bhakti yagam adhokshay taste janati vidam chakri tatvata samvatsaram. The material degrees of the living being, which are superfluous to him, can be directly migrated by the thinking process of devotional service. But the mass of the people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vedas compiled the Vedic literature, which is in relation to the Supreme Truth. Bhagavad 1.7.6. People are suffering because of ignorance and are following a wrong path for happiness. This is called anartha. These material activities will never make them happy. And therefore, Narad instructed with Vyasdev to record the instructions of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Vasudev actually followed Narad and did this Srimad Bhagavatam is the supreme sector of the Vedas. Garitam Phalam, the ripened food of the Vedas, the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna Bhagavatam.
Hare Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna Prabhu.
Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Ramtilak Prabhu, you can continue. Please.
No, that's okay, Prabhu. I think we
It's
are
all right.
done.
You continue, please. I can start with the next one.
No, but here we had some questions. Like I think that's why I think it'd be good if you can explain. Galitam Phalam, the type and fruit of the Vedas is Srimad Bhagavatam. So I think it'd be best if you explain for this.
Okay. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नाम्ने। Okay. O sons of Daksha, please hear my words of instructions attentively. You are all very affectionate to your elder brothers, the Haryashvas. Therefore, you should follow their path. So now this is very interesting purport, this one. Dakshana samshruna gadato nigamam mama. Nigama, gadato. You see, this, in the Bhakti Shastras, like Srila Prabhupada often quotes this, yena kena prakarena, somehow or the other, use anything to advance in Bhakti. So everything, like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, Yad karoshi, yad dadashi, yad juhoshi, yad karoshi, yad asnasi, yad juhoshi, dadasi, yad. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you sacrifice, do it as a sacrifice unto me. So anything that you do should be done in relation to Krishna. Anything done in relation to Krishna is favorable. Anything without relation to Krishna is unfavorable. In the battle for Mahabharata, the renunciation of Arjuna, the decision of Arjuna to follow the path of Dharma and not carry out the killings is not favorable. Whereas killing is actually favorable for Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to actually fight. So whatever is done, whatever is following the instruction in the instructions of Krishna, that has to be done. That is nigama. That's an instruction. So here we see, usually in bhakti, family relationships are a hindrance. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. All the acharyas have taken sannyas. Rupa and Sanatan Goswami have left their families. Gopal Bhatta Goswami also left his family eventually when they passed away. So family relationships have been renounced in our sampradaya. Even though in Gaudiya Sampradaya we have been the most liberal of all, but still if you see, all the acharyas have renounced their families. Here in this case, Narad Muni is actually encouraging family relationship. He urged them to follow their older brothers if they were at all affectionate toward them. So he's saying that your brothers are righteous, and if you are affectionate towards them, follow their footsteps. So somehow or the other, everything has to be used in service of Krishna. So if brotherly affection is also a favorable instrument, that should also be used in the service of the Lord. So gadato nigamam mama anvichatananu panivadin bhartranam bhratra vatsala. So follow in the footsteps of your brothers if you are affectionate to them. Now, usually someone like Narad Muni would not encourage any family affection. But here he is encouraging that. Because that will lead these 1,000 brahmacharis to their path of salvation. And what is that path of salvation? That is the path of Bhagavat. So, Shrimad Bhagavatam, see, living entity is suffering because of his contact with material nature. Like a man fallen on the ground can lift himself by taking the support of the ground. So, if someone can advance in bhakti using the services of Maya itself, why not use that? So, so-called family relationships in this world are Maya, they're illusions. But if that illusion itself helps one advance in bhakti, then that is certainly to be encouraged. Like in this case, the loving affection between brothers. Now, this is very interesting implication of this also, that they are coming in the family of Daksha. Daksha is very much, encumbered with family life. He's very deeply affected by family life. So, naturally, it is to be expected that his sons will also have a similar nature. So, Narad Muni is using that same to help them advance in bhakti. So, these materials, see, People are suffering because of ignorance and are following a wrong path for happiness. This is called anartha. These material activities will never make them happy. And therefore, Narad instructed Vyasadeva to record the instructions of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vyasadeva actually followed Narad and did this. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is actually the path of bhakti. So, giving up all anarthas, giving up all materialistic activities which are a source of misery, one can advance in bhakti. So, that's the instruction of Bhagavatam. So, here Narad Muni is encouraging not the brotherly relationship actually, but he's encouraging following in the footsteps of the Mahajanas. Hare Krishna. Yes, questions or comments here?
Hare Krishna Bhagavan.
Hare Krishna.
Here you said in the end, he was
Hmm.
instructed to of the path of Mahajan.
Hmm.
How Mahajan? Because Narad Muni himself is a great devotee and Mahajan.
Hmm.
And he was instructing. So what other Mahajans we are talking about it?
I didn't get your question, Prabhu.
So you said in the end that we should follow the path of Mahajans.
Hmm.
There are 10 Mahajans. Narad Muni himself is a great devotee and a Mahajan also. So I was just asking, which other Mahajan you want to follow the path?
So
By
here
that
he's
time,
quoting Haryashvas. See, Mahajana Yen Gatasa Pantha, which we talk about the 12 Mahajanas, those are 12
Yeah.
personalities, but it's not that they are the only Mahajanas. Anyone who follows in the path of pure devotion is a Mahajan. Srila Prabhupada is a Mahajan. Maha means great, Jana means soul, a great soul, great personality. So certainly like Maharaj Janak or Bhishma Dev, these are great personalities, but anyone who has like Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a Mahajan. So Mahajan Yen Gatasa Pantha, follow in the footsteps of the great souls. So here, what can be a better example than one's own family members? Here the Haryashvas are their elder brothers. So he's saying that you have a very good example in your own family. So you don't even need to listen to me. Just look at your own brothers.
Okay. I will limited approach to the 12
Yes.
Mahajans only. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, any other questions? Okay, so we continue. Text 31. Bhratranam prayanam bhrata.
Bhratranam prayanam bhrata.
Yo nitishthati dharmavit.
Yo nuttishtati dharmavit.
Apunya bandhu purusho.
Sapunya bandhu purusho.
Mrudbhi saha modati.
Saha modati. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
A brother aware of the principles of religion follows in the footsteps of his elder brothers. Because of being highly elevated, such a pious brother gets opportunity to associate and enjoy with demigods like the Maruts and all the affectionate to their brothers. According to their belief in the various material relationship, people are promoted to various planets. Here it is said that one who is very faithful to his brothers should follow a path similar to their and get the opportunity for promotion to Marudloka. Narad Muni advised Prajapati Daksha's second group of sons to follow their elder brothers and be promoted to the spiritual world. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Now, this is a very interesting point here. It's also going to be quoted elsewhere. I don't know whether it's this chapter or not. I don't remember. Like it was a very long time ago I read that those who practice devotional service strongly in the evening, they attain loving relationship with their brothers. I mean, loving spiritual relationships. Now, Maruts. Who are the Maruts? Maruts were actually the sons of Diti, who are being killed by who Indra was trying to kill. So he tried to
Yes.
kill the embryo and divided it into two parts, until they became 32. And then they prayed to Indra that, we are actually your brothers only. So then Indra spared their life. And then they became the Maruts. So, see, like we discussed in the previous verse also, one should use everything favorable in the service of Krishna. So if a family relationship is certainly helping one advance, just like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very affectionate towards his father, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and he used to read all his books. As an etiquette, he took initiation from Gaurkishore Das Babaji, who also used to follow in the footsteps of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So in this case, a family relationship is not a hindrance. But then again, the family relationship should be like that of Bhakti Vinod Thakur or Hari Ashwas. So if there is an affection in that sense, that is actually pure, because that affection is for someone who is a pure soul. So in this case, the Haryashvas were pure souls, they were all liberated souls. So if Savalashvas felt affection for their elder brothers, that was completely sanctioned. Because of being highly elevated, such a pious brother gets the opportunity to associate and enjoy with demigods like Maruts, who are all affectionate to their brothers. So you see, so here in this case, this sort of a brotherly affection is sanctioned, but not if this family relationship is with contaminated souls. See, what is affection? Whereas, so just try to analyze this, try to think of it this way. What is the root of family affection? What causes this affection between brother, sister, mother, father, son, daughter? This affection is coming from spiritual plane only. In the spiritual world, we are related to Krishna, we are related to other living entities there. But in the absence of Krishna consciousness, when we are covered by ignorance, we have forgotten our relationships in the spiritual world, but the tendency to have a relationship is not forgotten, because that's a spiritual tendency. The tendency for affection is a spiritual tendency, that's not forgotten. So in the absence of Krishna, we tend to develop this affection for the living entities who are equally fallen as us in this material world. And then we become more and more implicated. So especially the so-called sexual relationships of this material world, they are the biggest cause of bondage here. That's why sannyas is recommended. Pumshama striya mithuni bhavamitam. Tayor mitho hridaya grantimahu. Mitho, because it's a mithya, it's an illusory relationship. So these material relationships are born out of the fact that we have forgotten our original relationship with Krishna and his associates. So this relationship itself is not bad, but the illusion which causes these relationships, that is the real reason why we need to avoid relationships in this material world. So if this relationship somehow develops for a pure spiritual soul, then that relationship is sanctioned. Affection for the spiritual master is actually a beneficial thing. Actually, it's encouraged, because affection for spiritual master eventually leads one out of this material world. So in this case, Haryashvas, being the elder brothers of Savalashvas, are actually acting as spiritual masters. So if Savalashvas feel affection for their elder brothers, the Haryashvas, that is actually sanctified, that is actually sanctioned. Hare Krishna. Yes, any questions or comments?
Thank you, Prabhu. So he's here it said in purpose that the brother should follow a similar path and get the opportunity for promotion to Marut Loka. Whereas we saw earlier that the Haryashvas, I thought they got liberated, so they did not go to the heavenly planets. So here Narada Muni, again we discussed, despite going against Prajapati Daksha, he wanted to put these people on the right path towards Krishna. So why would they get elevated to heavenly planets? Just a
No. So not heavenly planets. Narad Muni advised Prajapati Daksh second group of sons to follow their elder brothers and be promoted to the spiritual world. So not heavenly
but it's
planets.
written Marut Loka. But it's written Marut Loka.
Oh yeah, so in the verse translation, because of being highly elevated,
Yes.
such a okay, now this is what Narad Muni is speaking.
Yes.
So he's saying Marutbhi sahamodate. He's giving an example of Maruts. Mm,
Okay.
Brother being aware of the principles of religion follows in the footsteps of his elder brothers. Because of
Hmm.
being highly elevated, such a pious brother gets the opportunity to associate and enjoy with demigods like the Maruts, who are all affectionate to their brothers. Hmm. So
Okay.
he's actually like,
Okay.
he's making a figure of speech here.
Ah. Oh, got it. Got
So
it.
in,
Yeah, bro.
yes. So he's talking about the path of piety here,
Got it.
whereas he actually implies the path of pure spiritual freedom.
Got it. Sure, bro.
So now the sentence is very interesting. That's a very nice point you raised, Prabhu. A brother aware of the principles of religion follows in the footsteps of his elder brothers. So in a Varnashram dharma, the the elder sister is like mother and elder brother is like father. So
Hmm.
they are and they are to be respected as such. So even if one is not like transcendental, even if one is purely on the path of karma kand and one follows
Hmm.
these principles precisely, he would be elevated to heavenly planets.
Hmm.
So Narad Muni is making a general statement on the platform of dharma. But certainly because Haryashvas are pure souls, so there is no limit to dharma really.
Dude,
Like dharma
I,
leads us to elevation from the earthly plane. It could be
correct.
heavenly plane, it could be spiritual plane. So
Spiritual
even
plane.
if one simply follows dharma without developing pure love for Krishna, simply by following the path of dharma, one will be at least elevated to the level of Maruts.
Mhm.
But
And
and
definitely
what to
there's no
speak,
fault.
if the brothers are pure devotees. Then one will be elevated to the level of Krishna himself.
Yes. So, bro.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanvat Namji.
Ram.
Prabhuji, am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
Loud
yeah.
and clear.
Okay, ji. So, then normally we say any kind of attachment is not good to take us where we need to go. So here in this case, we understand that Narad Muniji is directing based on that your brothers are following this path, so best follow their path. Would that be then Vaishnav Seva? That when they start to follow their brothers, they will be more inclined towards Vaishnav or Mahajan rather than attached to their brothers. Though it's natural inclination for them to follow brother, it's easier for them to understand.
Yes. So what
Okay.
exactly is your question?
Question ये है कि any kind of attachment is bad. So say they are following in the path of their brothers, yet they are still attached to the brothers. So would that be treated as
Okay.
attachment as a brother or as Vaishnav now?
Well, now that's a very interesting point. That's a very interesting point that gives a whole new meaning to our discussion. See, what is affection? Like we were discussing, what is affection? Affection is a natural tendency of the soul. Every living entity is a part and parcel of Krishna. So, we have read this verse in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Pandita Samdarshina. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Shwapake Cha Pandita Samdarshina. Now, this is what Krishna has spoken. What do we see in practical examples? So, what to speak of Vaishnava religion? Let's talk about Christianity. The whole concept of Franciscan Christianity is based around universal brotherhood. Saint Francis says, "Oh, brother wolf, oh, sister bird." So, when you use the word brother wolf and sister bird, you naturally mean affection. It's not that, okay, sister bird, so whatever, like who cares? No, no, it means affection. The word brother and sister implies affection. In Christianity, brother and father, these words are used to imply that relationship. These are not just like designated words. Like in the military, there's word like colonel or major. They're just authority terms. So brother and sister, they are terms of affection. So naturally, in the spiritual realm, also there is affection. Actually, everything is in the spiritual realm. In the material world, there are just reflections. So affection for brother and sister is not a material sentiment. It is coming from the spiritual world itself. Krishna has auntie, Krishna has sister, cousins, everything. Krishna has his whole family. In fact, every single relationship imaginable in this material world has an origin in the spiritual world. So, therefore, these relationships in themselves are not wrong. But When they are understood from a bodily perspective, then they are illusory, then they are illusions. So in this case, Narad Muni is certainly not encouraging mundane brotherly relationship, but he understands, being sons of Prajapati Daksha, they are naturally inclined towards family life. Why have they come here? To perform austerities, to become purified, to start family life. Naturally, that means that family affection is there. So, if this family affection is for some mundane girl or mundane boy, then that is material. But if this affection is for someone who is already pure soul, then this affection is certainly a path of liberation. Then that affection is directly on the spiritual platform. Like if someone loves Srila Prabhupada, like there was one, so many disciples of Prabhupada could not even tolerate his departure, they just died. They physically died because they could not tolerate separation from Prabhupada. So that affection is certainly not material. That's a pure spiritual affection. So in this case, you can imagine they have 11,000 Prabhupads here for them. So why not? Savalashvas were only 1,000. Haryashvas were 10,000. So if that is, so you can imagine if they have such a strong affection for pure souls like Haryashvas, their path of liberation is open. They don't even need to do anything. Prabhupada's sister Bhavatarini was not like some great preacher or tremendous acharyani or something. No, she just loved Prabhupada. And that was her qualification for liberation. So you see, strong affection for a purely spiritual personality is itself a spiritual affection. So therefore, that has to be encouraged.
ठीक है प्रभु जी. One other follow-up question that comes to my mind. So say
Yes.
somebody's spiritual master pass away, and say they are not able to do the level of service that they were doing before, because they are in grief of the spiritual master passing away. Then what do we say that? Yeah, they are so much attached to the spiritual master, but at some point Krishna's service is getting hindered.
Now you see, that's a very profound question. Maybe the answer may not be so easy to discuss. But what do you mean by Krishna's service?
Matlab their daily sadhana, what they were doing, like chanting or serving deities or
And why
anything
is it done?
that their
Why do they
guru
do that
must have
service?
told, this
Yeah.
is
No,
how
why do they do that sadhana?
to
What is the
serve the
objective of
guru.
that sadhana?
गुरु को सर्व
Yes.
करने के लिए.
हाँ, तो गुरु को सर्व करके क्या होगा? What do you attain by serving the guru? What are you seeking by serving guru?
Guru will be happy, hence we'll attain love of God, and at least we get purified to serve Krishna.
Who's guru?
अच्छा जी, समझ में लग गई. साक्षात धरित्वेन. I got it.
Who's
हाँ
guru?
जी, कृष्णा के
Getting the
कृष्णा.
point.
I got it. हाँ जी.
You see, it's so
ठीक है जी.
straightforward, isn't it? Like,
Very true.
that's why I'm saying, bhakti means very deep thinking.
Very true.
What service is Radharani doing? Actually, the gopis and Radharani and the gopis, they were living like widows when Krishna left Vrindavan. When Uddhav goes to Vrindavan, he sees that they are practically lifeless. All of them, gopis, gopas. Like Vrindavan is practically dead when Uddhav reaches there. Uddhav's arrival makes them brings them alive, kind of. Because they mistake Uddhav for Krishna to begin with. Because Uddhav looks so much like Krishna. The whole purpose of all our activities, just for the benefit of others, the whole purpose of all our activities is to develop intense attachment to Krishna. And the representative of Krishna is the spiritual master. So certainly, if one develops affection for spiritual master, then that itself is affection for Krishna. Because spiritual master is the supreme personality of servitor Godhead. So Prabhupada himself says, that is my job, to make you feel affection for myself. Once, when 1976-77, when Prabhupada was about to leave this world, so devotees did not want to leave him, but Prabhupada was encouraging them to go and do their services. So one of them actually raised this particular point, which you are raising right now. So, I mean, he raised it in a different manner. He said, like, Prabhupada, we are so attached to you that we are practically lifeless. So Prabhupada said, yes, that's my duty, to make you attached to myself. So you see, but that grief should be genuine. Then one should not become lazy. Okay, now my spiritual master is gone. I am
Hmm.
officially allowed to be unhappy and I can officially skip my duties. Then that's
Hmm.
cheating.
Mhm.
It should be in proper spirit.
Mhm. ठीक है जी, thank you so much,
That
Prabhuji.
example of
Mhm.
the example of that French devotee which is there. So certainly, but they should be all in proper spirit.
Mhm.
If we start doing things officially, then we'll become like Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev. Okay?
ठीक है जी, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
धन्यवाद जी.
Pranam. Yeah, so text 32. Oh, okay, we can take two texts now. Yeah, 32, 33. Etavad uktva prayayau
Itva, Itva,
narado mogha darshana
Nagum,
tepi chanvaganam gaman margam
Te Api, Chan, Magam,
Margam,
bhratranam eva marisha.
Bhratripam, Eva Marisha.
Shukadev Goswami continued, O best of the advanced Aryans, after saying this much to the sons of Prajapati Daksh, Narad Muni, whose merciful glance never goes in vain, left as he had planned. The sons of Daksha followed their elder brothers, not attempting to produce children. They engaged themselves in Krishna consciousness. Sadhrichinam pratichinam paryasyanu gata
Pasyanam, Samgata,
nadyapite nivartante
Adhyapite nivartante
paschima yaminir eva.
Pashchima,
paschima yaminir eva.
The Savalashvas took to the correct path, which is obtainable by a mode of life meant to achieve devotional service, or the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like knights that have gone to the west, they have not returned even until now. Okay, we can take this one more verse. Etasmin kala upatan
Etasmin kala utpatan
bahun pashyan prajapati
Bahun Pashyan
Pavan
Prajapati.
Pashyan Prajapati
purvavan narada kritam
Purvavan
Purvavan
Naradakritam.
Narakritam
pranasham upashranot.
Putranasham
Putranasham
Upashranot.
Upashranat.
At this time, Prajapati Daksh observed many inauspicious signs, and he heard from various sources that his second group of sons, the Savalashvas, had followed the path of their elder brothers in accordance with the instructions of Narada. Hare Krishna. So, with this ends the pastime of Savalashvas. Now, Daksha and Narada's conversation will take place. So, we discuss that tomorrow. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Can I ask one more question, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please.
यहाँ पे inauspicious signs क्यों आ रहे? When they Shavalashvas, they went for bhakti, should be auspicious signs. तो प्रजापति दक्ष को inauspicious, वो मे भी अपनी सोच ऐसे इसलिए inauspicious लग रहे हैं.
That's a very interesting point. So let's take the reference of Ramayana. So when Lord Ram is banished to the forest, Bharat, Shatrughna, Lakshmana, they see many inauspicious signs, foreshadowing the death of Dashrath, Maharaj Dashrath. Now, certainly Dashrath Maharaj cannot have a death like ordinary people like us. His death will also be auspicious. But signs are inauspicious. So even if a Vaishnava passes away, we don't observe, we do observe that as a festival, but still there is mourning. It's not exactly a very happy occasion. Even though we say, that's why we say, Jai Anilo Prema Dhana Karuna Prachur, Eka Kale Kotha Gela Acharya Thakur. Jai Sabena Paya Kande Narottam Das. When not finding any of them, Narottam Das is simply crying. Because even though the disappearance of a Vaishnava is certainly auspicious because Vaishnava is going back to Godhead, still there is a reason for feeling sad because there is separation. So we may say that Srila Prabhupada lives in his instructions, but we would rather prefer to see him face to face.
Mm.
So you see, so even though the death of a spiritual master is very auspicious, still it is a reason for mourning.
Yes. Mm.
So these are, these are some of the spiritual secrets. If one
Mhm.
understands, then one can advance on the path of bhakti.
Mm. Thank you.
So yes, so even though Savalashvas were certainly liberated souls, the
Mm.
symptoms were the same as that of death
Mm. You never
because there was
recovered.
separation.
ठीक है.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So
for
someone
that.
who is not spiritually advanced, for him it's a cause of sorrow.
Mm.
One who is spiritually advanced, for him it's also a cause of sorrow because there will be a separation.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
Hare Krishna.
ठीक है. Hare Krishna ji. Dharma Pranam Prabhu ji. Thank you.
Pranam, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.